Please note that this is part 2 of a 2-part tutorial. If you have not seen part 1, please stop the video now and take a look at part 1 of visualizing PCFs. Now we'll create a new blueprint class. This will also be an actor, and this will be our AR pin renderer. And what this actor will do, this one will actually be placed in the scene, and it will grab all PCFs that are available to a user's map and then create an array of lists in order to start looking through which PCFs are available and then spawn the ones that we are going to be using. So we'll double click and open up our AR pin renderer. And let's go ahead and jump into the event graph. We're going to do a event begin play, and we're going to remove our event actor begin overlap and event tick. We're going to do a timer. So the way we'll do the timer is set timer by event. We'll want this to be looping, and we'll have this happen about every 0.3 for our time. What we'll do, we'll go ahead and make this a new timer, because what we want to do as well, so timer handle, is we want to do an event in play we'll do a clear and invalidate timer by handle. We'll click and drag our timer handle variable out and connect it. So when the actor is placed in the scene, and we'll place it in there by default, it will go ahead and start running its event. And we'll create a new custom event here in a second. Then, when the actor is no longer being used, or if we delete it, we'll go ahead and just clear off this timer handle just for cleanliness. We'll go ahead and create a new event by clicking and drag off the event pin and type in add custom event. And we'll name this one timer callback. So our next 3 steps we're going to break down into 3 main functions. We'll first off by grabbing all of our PCFs available to us on the map. We'll then create a list of our removal list that will be used, so if a PCF is no longer active, we'll create an array of those PCFs and we'll remove them from our list. Then we'll go ahead and spawn the AR pin info actor that we created earlier and replicate through that, so that way we can spawn that actor for every PCF that still remains. So we'll do this by go ahead and creating a special type of variable. So we'll go ahead and click on plus variable, and we'll name this one pin map. This will actually be a dictionary, so our first value will be the GUID, and then over here we'll make it a container, and we want it to be a dictionary, or also known as a map. We'll take this one, and this will be AR pin info, and we want the object reference. We're going to compile. So step 1, we need to grab all of the PCFs available to us. So we'll type in get available AR pins. What's nice about this, you can actually grab all the PCFs or a set PCF number that you want to grab. Or, as mentioned here, if we pass in a negative integer, we will get every single AR pin that's available to us. So we'll type in -1. Similar to the AR info, we want to do an equals enumerator. We want to make sure that we're not pending any potential errors. And if we aren't, we'll go ahead and start filtering through stuff. What we want to do, we'll go ahead and grab our copy of our pin map here. We'll click and drag this out, and we'll type in get pin map. In here, we want the keys. This way, we'll grab the information of the GUIDs. And what we'll do is then create a for loop for each loop. For this, we'll do a find based on the array, and we'll feed in the pins from here. Add a reroute node just for cleanliness. So we'll feed off our AR pins, and then we'll take our pin map here, which will fill in this information a little bit later, but first off we want to check, is it available in the array? If it is, we'll do a less than to say yes, it is there, and then we'll do a branch, and we'll take our loop body and then we will take our pin map and select get. From here we'll do a find. And we'll take our array element again. So if we found it in our list of pins and we have it in our pin map, we'll go ahead and take our value here and branch it out. And say if it's true, we'll go ahead and take it and destroy it. So we'll destroy it if we find it, and then let's go ahead and create a new variable. This one will be just a standard array, and we'll name this remove list. We'll click and drag our new variable remove list and type in get. Click and drag to an empty space and then add. And then we will take our array element and add it to this list. So we'll destroy the actor if it's found in our pin map. So we need to destroy the actor, and then we will have this remove list that will organize the GUIDs for us. So let's iterate through the loop, and then once we're done and completed, we'll do another for loop. So for each loop, because now what we have to do is we now need to clean our removal list. So we'll take our removal list, select get, and connect it to array. And then we will go ahead and go from our array element, we'll do remove from our map. We'll grab our pin map and connect it, and then loop. And then once we're finally done, we'll go back to our remove list and clear. So we'll break it down where we have right now. So we're going to grab every available AR pin. Barring no errors, we'll go ahead and dive in. We're going to go look for our pin map that we're about to populate. We'll look to see if the GUID is available. We'll then iterate through it. We'll check to see if the pin in here matches up with what's being returned. We will then see if it's in this map. If so, we'll destroy the actor part of the map, and then we'll go ahead and add the GUID for this into our removal list. Once we've iterated through every item inside the map, we will then go into a secondary loop that will be for the remove list. We'll start removing them from the pin map, and then once we're finally done, we'll clean out this remove list. We'll go ahead and take this section here and we'll comment this part out. Filter through AR pin info actors and delete if the pin associated with them is no longer detected. This way we can just break apart our steps a little bit nicer. So what we'll need to do now is we'll need to start adding all of our items. So from this clear, we're going to go ahead and drag way out over here just so we can split this kind of up and do another for each loop. And we're going to do this now based on our pins. Add some reroute nodes in here just to straighten up our lines. This is not needed, but it is nice for organization and if you have any other developers wanting to look at your code. So we're going to grab our AR pins again and we're going to look to see if they're available in the map. So we'll do a find based on a map. We'll click and drag our pin map and connect. Check to see if it's there. Now what we want, if it's not located in this pin map and we no longer see it, we actually want it to be false. So we'll spawn actor from class. And the reason why we're doing this by false is because in our next step afterwards, we're going to populate this pin map and say, hey, we did find it, let's add it to our map. So at this point, we want to filter out if this is not detected. So we'll click on class, and on our dropdown, we'll click on AR pin info. We'll click and drag out from spawn transformation and type in make transform. We'll leave this information blank because in our AR pin info, we actually set our transformations based upon the PCF information that will be passed through. From return value, go ahead and type in pin ID, and we'll select set the value of pin ID. And we'll take our array element and connect it to here. And we'll take our pin map and then add. From here, we'll connect, and then from our pin ID in, and then our actor in. And we'll go ahead and comment this area out as well. Spawn AR pin info actors for any new detected PCF. So to break that down again for this step here, we're going to loop through our available AR pins. We're going to see if it's in our AR pin map. If it's not, and it's already gone through our removal list and it still hits us down here, we'll spawn an AR pin info actor. We'll set a 0 transformations because what ends up happening is that we actually feed through and set the pin ID based upon the array element here. That will set into motion all of the information done here. And then we take that information and add it to our pin map. So we'll go ahead and compile and save. And we drop in our AR pin renderer.